Let's begin today's webcast. My name is Chinmayanand Mishra. I'm a certified LabVIEW developer and I work as a technical marketing engineer for National Instruments. And today I'll be talking to you about what's new in LabVIEW 2013. So we've been doing these webcast sessions for quite a while now, and through these sessions we hope that we've been able to communicate to you the power and versatility of LabVIEW. We release a new version of LabVIEW every year, and recently we have released the 2013 version of LabVIEW. And this year our focus has really been on making the latest advancement in hardware technology programmable and targetable by LabVIEW. Also, we've added a lot of features to make it easy for you to develop, debug, and deploy applications. Finally, we have increased the number of sample projects to make sure that you have enough training and resources to write robust code in less time. So these are the main three areas where we have made improvements, and we'll take all these three areas one at a time. So let's start with the hardware integration. So not just LabVIEW, we've released a lot of exciting new hardware products also this year. The highlight of them being this new Serial 9068. And we have made all these new products, new hardware technologies, targetable and programmable using LabVIEW. So as you would probably know that we had earlier had the NI CompactRIO family. When we launched this CompactRIO family, which started off with the 9002 controller, which had a Vertex 2 FPGA and a PowerPC real-time processor on board. Then we came up with the 9014 controller, which had a VxWorks real-time processor and a Vertex 5 FPGA. And as these technologies have evolved, we have this year launched the new Serial 9068, which has a Zinc system on chip. Now, what this system on chip means? It means that the RT processor, real-time processor, and the FPGA, both of them are on the same chip. So instead of having two separate chips for the real-time processor and FPGA, we just have one single chip. Now, what that means to you is that since it's a single chip, first of all, it's at a lower cost, and then it has more number of DMAs. The throughput of the DMA transfer is much higher. Also, the real-time processor in this case is an ARM dual-core processor, and the best part is that it runs a Linux real-time operating system. So, for users who are familiar with Linux, this unlocks the vast Linux ecosystem on the CompactRIO controller. You can reuse your C and C++ code and still use the power of FPGA with LabVIEW FPGA. So next we have the Data Dashboard 2.2. The Data Dashboard is an app for Android and iPad, which allows you to receive data on your mobile devices. Now, the new features of Data Dashboard 2.2, first of all, it has the ability to connect to alternate servers. So earlier versions of Data Dashboard, you could connect to only one web service or one server, but now with Data Dashboard 2.2, you can connect to multiple servers at the same time. Now, we have also improved the interoperability of Data Dashboard so that a Data Dashboard developed for an Apple device can work on an Android device as well. And there are other cosmetic changes as well, such as support for multi-plot. We improved or included the transparency of controls. So that just makes developing a data dashboard much more appealing. That is about all the cool hardware support that we have added. Let's now switch to the LabVIEW environment and show you some of the cool features that we have added in the development environment. So here I've developed one of the applications, and the first feature that I want to show you is the mouse wheel support for controls and indicators. So as you would know that we had in earlier versions of LabVIEW these kind of controls, but the mouse wheel support, if you scrolled the mouse on top of them, nothing would have happened. But with 2030, we've added the value change functionality with the mouse wheel control. Now this was a very requested feature on our Idea Exchange forum, and finally we have gotten to implementing it. So we haven't stopped just at that. What we have also done is that this mouse wheel event we have exposed in event structures. So now if I click on this graph and I scroll my mouse, you can see that the graph zooms in. If I pull the wheel down, it zooms out. Now how we are doing this is we have there's an event structure. If I go to the block diagram of this, so this is the user interface loop, and this is the event structure that is capturing my mouse wheel event and programmatically changing the scales of the graph to make it appear as if the data is zooming in and zooming out. Now this is just one of the functionalities that could have been implemented. You can obviously capture this event and do whatever you want in the event structure. Now let's move to the debugging features. So first debugging feature that I want to talk about is the event inspector window. So I go to view, I click on event inspector window. Now what this event inspector window does is it shows you in real time whatever events are being fired in your VI. So say I run this VI, you can see that right now, since I'm not doing any front panel activity, there's timeout happening. And let's say I do some event on clicking this button. There's so many events that have been fired because I clicked the acquire button multiple number of times. Now why is this important? Is because it makes the debugging of any program with an event structure very easy. Earlier, if you had to debug a VI that had an event structure, you would have had to place a Boolean indicator or a string indicator inside every event structure to know that if I'm doing some activity on my front panel, which event is getting fired. But all that has gone away with the 2013 version and with this new event inspector window. Next, I want to talk about the desktop execution trace toolkit. Now, this desktop execution trace toolkit is a tool that was there in earlier versions of LabVIEW also, but based on certain user feedback, we have revamped this desktop execution trace toolkit. So, our desktop execution trace toolkit is a tool which allows you to do a dynamic analysis of your code. So let's say I have this application. Let me go ahead and open the desktop execution trace toolkit as well. So I'll go to Tools, Profile, and Trace Execution. Now what desktop execution trace toolkit does is it keeps a track of all the events that are being fired in the background as your VI runs. So any kind of an OS interactions, any kind of a memory allocation, memory resizing, all these events which you're not able to see by any other debugging methods like highlight execution and all, those are all captured by the desktop execution trace toolkit. So this is what the desktop execution trace toolkit looks like. Here I can configure all the settings that I want to actually see what is happening, and I can just say start. So now it's waiting for my VI to run. So let's say I run this VI. Now this is running as I wanted to, and you can see that in the background there's so many events that have already taken place. So there has been some memory allocations as shown by this gray bar. There was a user event creation as shown by this white bar. So let's now launch a piece of code by clicking this button, and let's see what happens. So you can see as soon as I click that button, there are a lot of memory resizing or memory allocation that is taking place. Now this is a sign for this is a warning for me, because the code associated with this button click, I'm pretty sure that there's a memory leak in that, and therefore I will have to go and fix that. As soon as I click the stop button, you can see that there's some reference leaks as well. So I've opened the reference, but I've not closed it in this VI. So again, I need to fix this. So this is a great tool to identify some of the shortcomings that might have been left off while coding. And before distributing an application, it's very, very important to do this, because if there are memory leaks or reference leaks, if your application is run for a long time, there are chances that it will ultimately crash. So let's see some of the changes that have been made in the desktop execution trace toolkit. So the user interface has been reinvented. It's now capable of handling much larger traces. You have improved filtering and sorting options. You have a comparison tool for differentiating between two traces. Let's say I have a VI, I run a trace on it. I make some changes to the same VI, again run a trace on it. I can compare the two traces to see what has changed. Then you have user requested trace configuration options. You have bookmarks for navigating. And then you have automatic logging, which can allow extended trace sessions. Next is the LabVIEW 2013 unit test framework. Again, a feature that was there in earlier versions of LabVIEW, but again it has been reinvented based on user feedback. So improved user interface, which makes it easier to create, edit, and run tests. Tests can be run from within the editor. In earlier versions, you would have to go back to the LabVIEW project and run the test from there. And then the new test cases dialog displays the inputs and outputs of the VI under test. Let's talk about deployment now. So first change that we have made in the deployment stage is simplifying the creation of installers. Now earlier, when you build an exe or when you build an installer, you would have had to include all the other runtime engines or drivers. Let's say if you're using DACMX driver for some data acquisition, you would have had to include that DACMX driver separately with your installer. Similarly, if you're using some Vision VIs, then you would have had to go and include the Vision runtime engine with your installer. Now, with LabVIEW 2013, all that has gone away. With a single click, you can make LabVIEW do all this work for you. So LabVIEW is now intelligent enough to detect from your program what all features have you used, and if you check this option right here, it will automatically select all those installers and will build an installer for you that you can directly give to your end user. Now, one of our partners from Austin, Wirebird Labs, has gone one step ahead, and what they have done is, on a single click, you can build an exe, you can build an installer for that application, and all the end users that are using that application, it will send a notification to them saying that a new version of this application is available, and with a single click, they can choose to download that installer and install that application. An experience which is very similar to an app's upgradation of an app like it happens right now. So to enable this, you'll have to download this deploy toolkit that has been developed by Wirebird Labs. Next, so you've developed an application, debugged an application, deployed it. Now let's talk about the code management features. So let me go back to the LabVIEW environment. Right. So here you see that there are some free labels that begin with a hashtag. Right. So now this is what we call as a bookmark, and it's a new feature in LabVIEW 2013. So what are bookmarks? Let me go to view and show you the bookmark manager window. Right. So here in this project, there are so many bookmarks that I have put in. Now, what a bookmark does is, it allows you, first of all, it appears in this bookmark manager window, and it allows me to just double click and go to that VI directly, go to that place of that bookmark directly. Now, how that helps is, let's say you have a very large application in which there's a lot of VI hierarchy, and so there's VI under VI under VI under VI, and let's say on the fifth stage you want to add a feature or you want to make a feature change. What you can do is you can leave a bookmark like this, like I've said, modify data logging parameters in this VI, and this bookmark will appear in your bookmark manager window that you can open from your project explorer itself, and just by double clicking here I can go to that bookmark. So it saves me the hassle of remembering where I've left space for feature addition and so on. Next feature that we have added is an SVN integration. So many of you who are working on medium to large codes would know about the concept of source code management. So some of the tools that so source code management is essentially keeping track of versions of changes that you make. So let's say I have this project, I make some change to this project. This will be stored as version n+1, and all this is managed by a tool which we call as the source code management tool. Common examples could be Perforce or Tortoise SVN. So now, since it stores the incremental changes that I make to my project explorer or project in general, what I can do is I can revert to any previous version of the project. So let's say I have a stable version n and I make some changes. It stores it as version n+1, but there are some errors that happen in that n+1 version. I can choose to revert back to the nth version, which was tried and tested. So earlier, these tools, if you wanted to use them, you would have to exit the LabVIEW environment and make those changes or make those configuration change commands from the Windows Explorer. But with this toolkit, you can integrate Tortoise SVN within the LabVIEW Project Explorer. So you can see these small green dots that are there. So let's go ahead and make some changes to this project. So let's say in my sub-VI folder, I want to add a VI. I'll save this VI. And you can see that there's a VI that appears, test.vi. Now I can go ahead and perform the common SVN source code management operations like SVN add. So now I'm adding this VI to my repository, and then I can go ahead and commit this code. It shows me this window. I can leave a comment which says test.vi has been added in this version, and when I say OK, I get this commit finished window, which shows that I'm right now at revision 72 of this project. So there are 72 versions of this project that has been stored previously, and I can kind of go back to any of these previous 72 versions. So let's try and do that. I'll say update update to revision. This gives me another window in which I can specify the revision number. So now it's completed, and now the project is at revision 71. So now if you see, the change in 71 and 72 was that test.vi was added, but right now there is no test.vi in my sub-VIs folder. I can again revert back to the 72nd version of the code. Now again my test.vi has been added to the Project Explorer. So this is a SPN integration that has been done again through a toolkit which a partner has developed. So that is about the new features that we have added in LabVIEW 2013 in terms of the development environment. In the final section, let's talk about the sample projects, examples, online training experience that has been revamped. So first is that VI Package Manager is now installed with LabVIEW 2013. So all the cool toolkits that I showed you, it's available on a LabVIEW Tools network, and this VI Package Manager that installs that gets installed with every copy of LabVIEW 2013 gives you direct access to that tools network, where if you are a developer, you can actually go ahead and place your VIs on the marketplace, and if you are a user like me, you can download all these cool toolkits and use it in your project. In terms of example finder, we have refreshed our example finder so that earlier it was all in separate files. So let's say you want to implement a UDP communication. There is a separate VI for UDP client, there is a separate VI for UDP server. So you have to kind of fish around for the correct VIs in the example finder and then use it as a starting point for your application. But with 2013, it's all project based. So if you want to do a UDP communication, you just have to open this simple udp.lv project, and this will contain all the client and server VIs that you'll need. With LabVIEW 2012, we had launched a new way of documenting your code. So we have made sure that all the examples in this 2013 version have that documentation. We have of course added some new examples, some new templates and sample projects. They were introduced again in 2012, and they were a very good starting point for your applications. We have added two new sample projects. It's the real-time sequencer and the SCADA project. So the SCADA project, as you can see, it has a ready to use HMI. All the programming has been done, and it has very clear demarcation of coding that is required to be done from your side. Finally, we've expanded the online training. So till 2012, there were only 3 courses that we had on the online training. Now there are so many courses with 2013. And not only the courses, we have gone ahead and added a certification as well. So earlier there were only Certified LabVIEW Associate Developers, Certified LabVIEW Developer, and Certified LabVIEW Architect. But people who are working on embedded systems, we've added a certification for them as well, which is the Certified LabVIEW Embedded Systems Developer. We've also launched a CLD success package. So for people who don't really have 4 hours to sit and practice for the CLD exam, this success package contains 17 exercises that can be completed in 30 minutes each, and these exercises have been designed so that they cover key exam requirements. This is just a snippet of a CLD exercise. So that was gist of all that is new in LabVIEW 2013, all the cool features. So now the contest of the week is live on the LabVIEW community, which is LabVIEW-enabled.in. So this year we are giving you some sample CLD questions. So So there are questions like these, which are now live on LabVIEW enabled.in, and you can go to the link to that is being posted on your chat window right now, and you can, from that link, you can go ahead and attempt these questions. So something about our community, LabVIEW enabled. It's a single network of students, industry professionals, academicians, collaborating and coming together to create discussions, exchange and share resources, generate content on applications, NI technologies, as well as other industry trends. It serves to unite users not only from India, but also across the world on collaborating on similar applications. Simply put, it's just a social network for engineers, students and researchers. So with that, we come to the end of the session. You can watch the recording of this session and participate in the contest of the week on LabVIEW-enabled.in. And we're here to take your questions if you have any for the next 5 minutes. Thank you so much for attending.